First, though, we begin live on the ground in Kyiv with the Ukrainian Member of Parliament, Rudik. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you. So what is the latest on the ground tonight?
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Well, despite of Russian statements that they are pulling the troops, the last couple of days were the most intensive in terms of shelling in Kyiv since the beginning of the war. Like yesterday and this night, they were extremely heavy. The air raid sirens almost did not stop the whole night. So this proves you that whatever Putin is saying is definitely a lie. Then that pulling back the ground troops does not mean that they are stopping whatever they're doing in the air. And third, that the destructions done by the Air Force are more heavy and more painful and more deadly than anything that ground troops can do to my country. And this is why we still asking on day 37 of the war, the same thing that on day 1 of the war, the weaponry to protect our skies. Without that, it will be extremely hard, if impossible, to win this war for Ukraine. And we can be very brave, we can fight very hard on the ground. Our army can be so strong and resistance could be so active. However, without the support in the air, it will be continuous and constant war with continuous and constant destruction of our people and cities by Russians.
And I wanted to ask you about Chernobyl tonight, the nuclear plant. There are reports that Russians are leaving it. Have you heard that? Are you concerned about the nuclear facility?
So the nuclear concern has been very high from our side from the very beginning. So there are 2 nuclear plants, Chernobyl and another one, the largest nuclear plant in Europe, that were constantly attacked and then controlled by Russians. So right now we will try to take control over Chernobyl back as soon as possible and get international representatives there to help on checking that everything is fine. But we cannot eliminate that Russians created a provocation there, because their original plan always included sort of original provocation. What struck me the most is that Russian soldiers that were there did not even understand where they were from the information that they were posting on the media and from the hostages, from the prisoners that we took. They did not understand where they were, and they did not understand the risks that they were taking by being in the certain areas with highest radiation. So the goal in terms of Chernobyl is to get international organizations there as soon as possible.
Okay, and I was reading today that more than 100,000 civilians are still trapped in Mariupol. Is the humanitarian corridor working?
No, unfortunately, the humanitarian corridors from Mariupol are being used as a bargaining chip in the negotiations. And even if we get Russians to confirm that they are letting people out, it is still uncertain usually if they're letting people out or not. And in most cases, the buses with the refugees are returned back to Mariupol from the exits of the city. The situation is really terrible. People don't have water. People are starving. People are eating dogs in Mariupol. It's a total humanitarian catastrophe. Children are dying not only from bombing, but basically because of being unable to receive the first aid. And one of the goals of the negotiation right now is just to beg them to get people out, get people out of the siege city where the only thing that they're facing is death.
Oh, that is just unspeakable. Intelligence out of the UK, I wanted to ask you about this, says that Russian soldiers are low on morale. They're refusing, some of them, to carry out orders. Do you have any interaction with Russian soldiers on the ground, and does that surprise you?
Well, Russian soldiers did not have any big idea why they're coming to Ukraine. So we here are fighting for our motherland. We know that we are protecting what is ours. They came here on orders, and this is why it's still unclear to them, like what they are fighting for. And we have seen so many cases of them, first of all, giving up, then trying to run away, and there were so many cases of murderers and rapists, and just them acting as lowest of the low. So I'm not surprised on their actions right now, because really they are being defeated on various directions. But we will, whatever happens, we will never forgive to what they are doing right now to Ukraine on the ground. You know, yesterday, husband of one of my members of parliament of my team was killed while evacuating people of another city, Chernobyl, which is north of Kyiv. He was evacuating people out, and this tragedy, it is very personal, and again, like, there is nothing that we can do, and there was nothing that we could have done to protect this evacuation convoy. So it was just shelled by Russian Air Force, but there is nothing that we will do to forgive.
All right. Well, I'm so sorry for everything all of you are going through. We appreciate your time tonight. Ukrainian Member of Parliament Rudik, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.